Hello, here's your mom friend Kathleen, and welcome to Wildly Rooted. Motherhood isn't about having it all figured out, it's about growth. Together, we're planting deep roots so we can feel calm, confident, and connected. In just 5 to 15 minutes, we'll breathe, reset, and explore tools to bring more peace, joy, and ease into our days. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm here with you, learning, growing, and rewriting motherhood together. Let's dive in. Hello, it's your mom friend Kathleen again, and welcome back to Wildly Rooted. And today we're talking about tuning in to the frequency of abundance. Today's short and juicy episode is inspired by a powerful abundance workshop I just recently did with Melissa Dillon. And I had so many small breakthrough moments, so I really felt like I wanted to share them with you. And she used this beautiful metaphor of the Costco of the universe. So let's talk about choosing what you want from the Costcos of the universe, because everything is available to us. And this is the first thing. Everything is available to us. That means all of it, the good stuff, the bad stuff, the in-between stuff, the tough stuff, the fun stuff, everything is available to us. And yeah, I'm just dive into this metaphor a little bit more. I want to keep also this episode really short and nice and sweet. So imagine that a giant warehouse store, and we just gonna call it now the Universal Costco. We all know these big supermarkets, and every aisle is filled with different options. So you're walking through that huge universe supermarket, and then you have the aisle for, love or heartbreak, success or failure, joy or struggle. It's all there, the good and the bad. And the question is, what aisles are you standing in? What are we choosing when we enter the store? And this is how it is very often is. We focus on what we don't have and what we don't want. So now staying on the Costco superstore, we're going in and we might ask someone for help. And we ask uh, can you tell me where the breakup aisle is? Or let's take as an example, the TV aisle. And the person says, oh yes, of course we have TVs. Here's the TV aisle. And then you stand there and you look and, okay, I asked for TV aisle, but now I realize I don't want a TV. But you're standing still in that aisle and constantly asking and telling everyone around you, I don't want a TV. I don't want a TV. But you're still literally at that aisle and don't move the aisle. So the easiest thing to do is actually just to walk away from the TVs and choosing of whatever you want. So you say, another example is you don't want heartbreak, but you're standing by the heartbreak aisle, staring at all the examples of possible heartbreaks and looking at all the examples of heartbreak and going, I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want heartbreak. I don't want heartbreak. But all you're doing is reiterating what you don't want. But very often we don't say what we want, and we're not saying it clear and loud enough and often enough. But just imagine, let's talk about this heartbreak. If we just walked away from that and just walk to the different aisle and affirm literally and say, I'm now standing in the aisle where I see all these beautiful relationships, and now I can actually choose what type of wonderful relationship I want to have, how spicy it should be, how romantic it should be, like all these different flavors, and start focusing rather on which flavor does suit me right now. So pretty much we have heard it before, it's nothing new, but I just kind of love that metaphor and image of the Costco store, so that we're telling the universe what we want and not what we're trying to avoid. So we're choosing the right aisle, and then we start to look at all the different flavors and focusing, thinking about the flavor that we want, And again, the more we can feel it, literally, when you stand in a supermarket store and you look at something, and it's almost like, let's say you want to buy yogurt, you can see the yogurt and you literally already taste it, and it's so yummy, you just want to buy it. This is how we want to be in the Costco store of the universe. And we have to understand that we're meant to kept safe. So for us to focus on the danger and what we don't want and on the worry is a survival instinct. It's something that wants to keep us safe, and it does keep us safe. And when you look at history, it definitely was a very, very important thing. But in our world today, where we want to create the life that we want, we need to move back into imagination, joy, and possibility. We have to tap into the inner child, to the childlike, fantasy world, to be able to really dream big and believe it is possible. So we really need to rewire and train how our brain actually is worked, at least as human history, forever. And I think this is where we have to also give us the slack that actually our brain wants to keep us safe. It just doesn't always serve us anymore. And if that metaphor of the Costco store doesn't suit 100%, I have another picture, and that's flip the ladder of experience. So think of your life like a ladder, and you can choose that, you're on the bottom right now, and where everything is kind of messy or chaos. That's it's the bottom is the pain, so to say. And then you have this whole ladder, and you don't even have that ladder. You can just flip the ladder in the middle so that the bottom now becomes the top. And then you have, if you imagine it like kind of two ladders on top of each other, and then the top is success. And again, you choose how you can flip that ladder anytime. The frequency of abundance or of anything is always available to us. It's just that we have to learn to tune into it, which is by all means not always that easy. I'm struggling with that as time as well. So it's not like I have it all figured out, but it starts to make more sense to me. So I really wanted to share what I learned here. And here's maybe where it comes in. The question is, can you hold that frequency? Can you actually hold what you're asking for? Because if you want more abundance in your life, it also means you need to have more emotional strength. In a way, I don't like the words like you're tested, but the universe, if you want to use universe or you use God or whatever you want to call it, might send you, okay, let's call it test here. I don't like the word. I haven't figured it out, a better word. So you might kind of be tested. For example, you start getting more money, but you're also getting higher bills. And it's to check in with yourself. Do these higher bills mean bigger emotions? Or do you actually also still feel centered and calm and things get, now we're talking about money when you get more money. It might also mean more responsibility, and you need to always hold that more of things. You want more health. That might mean and requires that you need to have the emotional strength to work out more, or to eat what you know it's best for your body at all times. So kind of just instead of looking at it as a test, but like the universe is checking in with you. Can you hold that space? And the more resilient and trusting you become, the more you will receive. And I think this is where it is really hard. At least for me, this is really hard. Is trusting it's coming to me, and at the same time holding the space for my own resilience. And I think this is also what they say, this typical situation, where millionaires, they win the lottery, they become a million, they receive a million, And within a year, for most of them, it's gone because they never learned to have that emotional strength. And in a way, it is like going to the gym. You're not starting to lift 200 kilograms right away, or 50 kilograms or whatever. You build up to it. And when you win the lottery, you're not building up to it. So we need to build this mental, emotional muscle in a way to hold what we desire. And now we're over 10 minutes, so I want to wrap up this episode. So, as a final reminder as a recap, abundance is a frequency we tune into like a radio station. Whatever it is in your life, you want an abundance in your health, you want abundance in money, abundance in joy and pleasure. It's all there for you. You just have to tune into the right station. You don't need to beg or bleed, you just need to align. You just need to have joy. The more joy you have, the more pleasure you have, the more you are aligned. So be steady, be ready, and be open. Remember, it's a muscle. We need time. It needs time to grow. We need to build resilience. And don't expect your goals to save you. Welcome the challenges that come with growth. So also, I remember Melissa Dillon talking about it, that we often put something on a pedestal, that this typical, once I have received that weight, then I can do this, and once I have that much money, then I can hire help, whatever it is. um and it just doesn't work that way. When we get there, nothing has really changed as dramatically as we make it. Plus, the more we put something on a pedestal, the harder it is for us to achieve because it feels so far away. So I invite you to finish off this episode to think about, what aisle are you currently standing on a lot in your life and saying constantly, I don't want this, I don't want this, and I don't want that? And how could you choose a different aisle? Something really small, something really tangible, and maybe just a thought. Which thought would actually be the opposite of what you don't have and don't want? And maybe that just means taking a little bit of time for yourself and showing lots of self-compassion and not being too hard on ourselves for not having been there yet. And here, I'll leave you to it. Let me know. Send me a message, send me, yeah, a message, leave me a review if you like this, and tell me what is the action you're going to take and what aisle are you standing on right now. And as always, stay wildly rooted, mama, grounded in love, growing with purpose. Until next time.